How many people are coming back? This is great. Yesterday was so good. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay. Recording. We're good. We're set up. We'll keep letting people in. So if I stop and start, it's because I'm clicking buttons. Welcome to Tuesday. Monday was something else, eh? Jackie and I got off that call. We were like, whoa. That was Jackie's circles are really, really amazing for those of us who were there on Monday. If you didn't get the link and you want to take advantage of that little promo code she sent us, I'm going to drop my email in for anybody during the week. If there's any links or anything, or you want to be connected to anybody, feel free to shoot me an email after I'm done this part. I'll drop my email in the chat. So Monday was Jackie. Tuesday is going to be Hadriana. I'm just excited for this entire week for myself. When I got off of the call yesterday, I was in a completely different space than when I had gotten on the call. And I have a feeling there was a lot of us who enjoyed that a lot. So we get a full week of this. This is the Fall in Love with Your Business Again challenge. It's going to be Monday to Friday, all week, 9 to 10. It's going to be a really beautiful experience with 5 different women who have 5 different areas and 5 different gifts and skill sets to share with us that they have so generously donated their time. I'm always amazed that I reach out and they're like, yeah, definitely. I'm like, I am so privileged to have these women in my circle. It's just been absolutely phenomenal. Quick recap, landing pages up. Replays are all going to be up there. Links are going to be up there. Really easy. Again, I'll shoot my email in the chat. If there's anything you're missing, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to facilitate. I actually don't have that much work to do with this. I'm kind of sitting back. I've got a VA putting in a lot of the pieces for me. So yeah, hit me up in the email if there's anything you're looking for, anything extra. Our big theme this week is the power of the reframe. Business is challenging in general. Solopreneurship is challenging. This time of year is challenging. One of the options we have to tap into is an agency of reframing these challenges we come up against. I know for myself, I've been in places where it was only once I dug in and I said, okay, this is reality. This is what I'm facing. What do I do with it? Where can I go with it? And I tapped into reframing. That's always been where I found my reconnection to my business and my reason for why I'm here. It's going to be a big part of this conversation. Hadriana brings a really beautiful energy to our relationship around money. Reframing money in business is so important. At the end of the day, we're building a business, and at the core of it is a money transaction. There's a lot more going on. Most of us are going to be very value-based people, but at the core of it, our relationship with money is something we want to have in a very empowered place. Excuse me. And that's going to take reframing. And that throughout the entire week, every conversation we're going to have is going to be around tapping into that agency of reframing so that as this week wraps up, we're getting closer to spring, 37 days, not that I'm counting down. Things are going to pick back up. You're going to have more energy. You're going to take more action, but I want you to do it from these reframed places. Very easy to just spin your wheel in business. When we tap into agency, especially as women, it really, really changes the game for us. Lots of people are coming in. This is amazing. I feel like I'm having like a dinner party and all my favorite people are here. This is my big reframe I want to give to you, especially as women. I'm a single mom of 3. I know a lot of you pretty well. I know how seldom we put ourselves first. Usually we're like 3rd, 4th, or 5th. There's always something we put ahead of ourselves, including our business. What I want you to understand is that investing in your business is investing in yourself. We are at the core of our business. If you are really, really committed, especially if you're in a growth stage, either you're at the beginning and you want to get serious, or you've figured out it works and now you want to expand to something that's stable and scaling, one of the key pieces is investing in yourself. I'm a marketer. Like I said yesterday, for those who are here, websites are great. All the fancy things and brands and all of that, they're great, but nothing is going to give you a higher ROI in your business than investing in yourself. Your business results are a reflection of your own capacity, and your capacity is a reflection of how much you're pouring into yourself. So all of these women have some piece of that they offer. They're going to give it to us in these workshops. There's also options to move forward with them, and they lots of free resources, lots of accessible options to work with them. There's paid containers you can move into if you're ready for more serious investment. But I want you I have worked with so many women in business, and one of the biggest pieces I always end up working with them on, it's not on marketing, it's not on social media, it's on how seriously we take ourselves and how much we see our business growth come from how we invest in ourselves. Do a quick recap of who will be here with us this week, and then I'm going to kick it off to Hadriana. Jackie was here yesterday and she led a really beautiful circle. These circles are so fun. Quite a few of us have been regular parts of Jackie's circles. And you always kind of start off and it feels a little stiff, and then something cracks open, and it is such an incredible container of vulnerability and connection. Jackie and I talked after the call. We're both like, I like every time it blows my mind. And she does these reoccurringly. Those of us who've been part of her circles, we know how much you look forward to it every week. Business is an emotional experience. It is not just logical. And one of the pieces that is the hardest to find outside of the business world is other people to bring those emotions to share with. Usually people will listen to us yammer about maybe some of the logical pieces, but finding someone who can sit with us through imposter syndrome and the weight of it and lifting each other up, that's much harder to find. The best place I have ever found it is in women's circles. I absolutely love them. I'm signed up for Jackie's next one. If anyone wants the link, shoot me an email. Today is Miss Hadriana. This is a gift. This woman has such a beautiful presence. I first encountered her at a weekend webinar, and as soon as I was in there, I was like, oh, who is this woman? I want more of her. And I've been really grateful to know her for a couple of years now. She's so grounded. She's that like friendly kick in the ass you need, where she's going to tell you how it is, but in a really loving way. And it's all about money. Money, if you can wrangle your money mindset and your relationship with money, you will watch your business grow. Single mom of 3, I support my business, my entire household on my own. And it's not because I'm some genius with money. I was out of the workforce for 10 years. I didn't have a credit card in my name. I didn't have a bill in my name. It's only been working through my relationship with money that I've been able to build my business to the point it is now. The messy is the truth, right? None of us start off having this all wrangled. These type of conversations are super crucial. So that's going to be today. I'm really excited for it. Tomorrow is Carrie, which most of us know. Carrie is an absolute powerhouse of a woman in building authentic connections and community. She's going to talk to us about networking tomorrow. We've all been to chamber events where we're like, these are not my people and I don't want to be here. Carrie has a really beautiful way of systematically building a network of people that you genuinely feel connected to. Some of my best friends come from my networks that I first met through Carrie. That's going to be Wednesday. Thursday is Martha. Martha is going to be bringing us really deeply inwards, especially with marketing. There's so many really key blocks around visibility and imposter syndrome. Business in general, success requires us to often grow past our growth edge. And the only way to do that is to go inwards. Outside results are always a reflection of where we are inwards. And Marta is going to be talking to us a lot about subconscious blocks and how we recognize. If you have goals you want for this year, I bet you anything underneath some of those goals is going to be some personal blocks that you're going to have a beautiful opportunity to explore. And when we reframe and we look at it like that, it really lowers the odds that we're going to get to a place and get frustrated and be like, I'm not meant for entrepreneurship. That happens so often. We're like, I'm not the type of person that can do this. And it's not that, that's not the truth. It's that you have an opportunity to grow into the version of you that is a fit for that. It's always the process behind it. Friday, we're going to round it out with Michelle. Michelle is she's such a practical person, which I love. She really believes in giving us active tools, and she's going to teach us tapping. Emotional regulation and nervous system regulation. If you've not looked into that and you want your business to succeed, go into it, because it's always going to be stressful. There's always going to be up and downs. There's always going to be moments where that risk in entrepreneurship comes home. It is our ability to ground ourselves and regulate ourselves that help us show up for the business consistently. And that's what Michelle's going to round up the week with. She's also going to really make sure we don't try to bypass everything. That's something we can often do, and I don't want that for any of us. These struggles that we have are real. Reframing is not about bypassing and ignoring them. It's about using agency so we can address them in a way that we feel empowered, rather than it being circumstances that we have no choice around. So Michelle's going to really ground us into the end of the week and something really practical, which I love about Michelle. She's so great. So That's our week we still have ahead of us. Today, Hadriana is going to talk to us about money, and she's going to give us a nice, friendly little kick in the butt. Take off my spotlight, and I will spotlight Hadriana, and she will do her magic.
Perfect. Awesome. Hi, everybody. Let me set myself up because I want to see all of you. I'm so excited to be here. I see Tiz. Tiz, hi. And I see Kaoru. Hi. And everybody else I know here. Wendy, I see you. Stacy, I see you. And I see Angela and April and Chelsea and Rebecca and Bernice and Ashley and Jackie and Kat and Muriel and everybody else who joins. There's something about being seen. There is absolutely something about being seen. And I do some moonlighting as an MC. And I see I see how people react when people get up there and they only mention one person or two people. And I'm like, you're just begging for trouble. So I always try to ensure that if I'm going to see one person, I'm going to see everybody because everybody is definitely there to be seen. That's I can't do when I'm talking to a crowd of 1,000 people, but I'm talking to you and I can do that. So good morning, everybody. I'd love to know where all of you are based. I know a lot of you are out in the Kingston, Quinty area, but I know Tiz, you're out the other way. I think you're out the other way, and I think we have opportunities to connect. If not in person, then virtually. And I am really loving opportunities for connection. So I'm not even going to Trenton and Kitchener. Kitchener, nice. There was a real estate opportunity out there I was looking at. And Chelsea's in Stratford as well. Oh, nice. We've got Stratford, we've got Trenton, we've got Kingston, St. Mary's. Very nice. Belleville, I could drive to you without skipping a beat, Ashley. That is Belleville. I'm in Pickering. I'm in Pickering, just outside Toronto, and I'm looking forward to spring. I'm counting it down. Unfortunately, I don't count down the calendar because we know who sees whose shadow and all of that. But either way, this must pass. Summer must come. And I'm originally from a beautiful island called St. Lucia, where it's summer all year round. So you can just imagine that I am asking for summer to come and to come quickly. Here, now we've got, oh, sunlight peaking. Yes, sunlight was trying something. You know what I love about the sun? It never gives up. You know what? Let's get into our thing for today. Now that I've got you all well practiced with your typing in the chat, that was very good. Oh, Ashley wants me to drive out. Ashley, we're gonna have to work that out. I'm gonna save this chat and see what we can do. I'm going to read off some taglines of some beauty labels. And if you know which brand it represents, pop it in the chat for me, okay? So I'm going to read the tagline. If you know which brand I'm talking about, just pop it in the chat and let's see how many of us get it. So here's the first one. The first one is, maybe she's born with it. Do you recognize that one? Oh, okay, Wendy. Wendy's on. Wendy's on. Maybe it's Maybelline. Yes, that one's definitely Maybelline. Here's another one. This one's pretty young compared to Maybelline. This is a new one on the stage. This one is Beauty for All. Let's see who gets it. Beauty for All. It's not Dove. Beauty for All. I had a feeling that one might be a stumper. Ha 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 ha. No? Okay, that one's actually Rihanna's Fenty Beauty. It's Beauty for All. Okay, here's another one. We belong to something beautiful. Any guesses for that one? We belong to something beautiful. I bet you've shopped there. I got the only reason I ever walked into that store is because my daughter wanted me to go. Okay, Sephora, yes. Angela Smith, 2 thumbs up. That is Sephora. We belong to something beautiful. I've got two more for you. These two, I think you'll get. Love the skin you're in. Love the skin you're in. Who has it? Yes, it is Olay. Before it was oil of Olay, then they transitioned to Olay, and they do Love the Skin You're In. Last one, and that's one that I kind of shared on LinkedIn because it touches directly to what we're going to talk about today. Because you're worth it. If you were watching my shares when I shared this event on LinkedIn, you would have seen because you're worth it. Any guesses? Woo, no guesses. It's running around in your head though, because I feel like it's recognizable, but you just can't latch onto L'Oreal. That's right, Carew. It's L'Oreal. As a branding professional, Cheyenne can tell you that these taglines deliver a ton of message, a ton about what this brand is, what it represents, who they're trying to work with, and it, it it denotes value to the consumer. What a lot of us don't really wrap our heads around as business owners is these taglines are outward facing. They actually speak to the consumer. They don't actually reflect the actual winning, profit driven strategy that these businesses are using. The tagline is designed to speak to the person who is going to consume. It's actually not their profit strategy. Their profit strategy is pretty methodical, and we'll talk about that a little lower down. But these taglines evoke feelings of worth and belonging in the buyer, not the seller. And what happens is, I remember very clearly a few years ago, a coach that I was working with said to me, charge the price, charge X dollars because you are worth it. And I'm like, but am I? Let's be real. I just want to be real with you for a few minutes today. We, as entrepreneurial women, struggle with our concept of worth, especially as entrepreneurs. Sure, we're worth the Mother's Day gift that our kids give us because we can easily articulate how much we struggle and grind for these minions that came out of our bodies. Okay. So, yes, we're worth the Mother's Day gift. In fact, they need to 10x whatever they spent because it's still not worth it. Okay. We can see that. We can see the value we are to our parents, especially if your parents are aging and you're bringing up kids. You need to kind of do that balance of caring for our parents. Yes, we understand that the effort we're putting into, the love relationships in our lives, it's worth it. Is it actually worth it for you to charge $20 for a pack of tea? I don't know. Someone might look at you and say, well, it's just dry leaves. Is it really, are you worth charging, $150 an hour so you can sit there and, I don't know, transcribe a meeting for someone else? Is that based on your worth? And is that the basis that we need to put out there when determining our pricing strategy? I really want us today that my objective is to separate your personal worth from your entrepreneurial ventures. They do not belong together. Your identity as a human, as a woman, as a being on the planet is no way tied to your success or lack thereof or challenge or anything in between in business. I've seen too much of it. I've seen too many of us sell ourselves short thinking that we are no good because we struggle in business. The other thing I'd like for us to achieve today in this short time we have together is we need a way to create profit in our business to fund your life well lived. So I don't just want you to fund your life. That's like paying the mortgage, paying the bills, going to work, coming home. That's not enough. You know what you are worth? You are worth a life well lived. And that is a full circle experience. And that is a life well lived. So, two things: let's separate personal worth from our business and let's create profit. So here's why I think it's really important to separate your self-worth from your business. They do not move in lockstep. Our growth as beings does not move in lockstep with your growth in business. I don't know if you've ever read or followed Arlene Dickinson. She is one of, I think, a trailblazing entrepreneurial Canadian woman that is doing amazing things in the space. And if you read any of her books, I'm trying to look at the one that I have. I think I have two of hers. You will see that even with the level of success that Arlene has had and is having, she still struggles on the personal side. She still has issues of looking at herself and liking what she sees, both on a physical level and on an emotional growth level. She still is in that space and continues to struggle with it. Actually, yesterday I saw that she's starting a new podcast, Arlene is Alone. It's really, she's celebrating the joys and challenges of being single. And I plan on tuning in. This July, I'll be married 25 years, but I am tuning in to Arlene is Alone. That'll be good fun. But she continues to evolve. Her personal identity, who she is and who she's becoming, continues to evolve, and it does not move in lockstep with her business. Her business has several partnerships. Her business has several different aspects to it. They're not moving together. So we need to disconnect. Disconnect your identity from your business. That's one. The other one is this: we are complex creatures. Today, you might be feeling like Super Wonder Woman. Tomorrow, not so much. Just ask the moon to go from full moon to second quarter. Okay? And we realize that our energy levels fluctuate. We realize that how we show up fluctuates. The pull on us fluctuates. All of these things, it moves. We cannot tie our business to how we happen to be feeling at the time, as legitimate as that is, and it's the truth of our experience. I like to say that profit is black and white. Your self-worth and identity is full color. Okay? Profit is formulaic. Your identity is an experience of becoming. We need to disconnect. Let me tell you about imposter syndrome. Before I became a wealth coach, before I became a wealth counselor, before I became a wealth strategist, I worked in an office as a traditional financial advisor. Okay? Our office at the time, it was just three of us as advisors, and I was well trained to manage very complex financial instruments. Let's be clear. If you didn't know the word or didn't understand what they were talking about on BNN, I knew it. Okay? I figured it out. The marketplace, I could move that thing around. We were managing hundreds of millions of dollars, literally. I was bouncing my mortgage, and I had maxed out credit cards. Okay? And this is me with so much knowledge of the most mundane to some of the most complex financial instruments. You want to talk about imposter syndrome? I lived it. I lived it. And the key came for me when I realized that it wasn't what I knew, it's what I was able to employ and deploy for my well being and for my family. So I went out and healed myself. They're like, teacher, free yourself, heal yourself, doctor, heal yourself, whatever it is. I had to figure this out for myself. And in doing so, explore many other strategies that could work for other people. I was the ultimate imposter because I was teaching in a space where I was absolutely failing, right? When I found what worked for me, I needed to create a system that allowed me to share that with other people. Well, guess what was playing in my head every time I'm like, I'm a money coach. I'm a financial this, that, and the other. Well, my internal dialogue was, you still have all this debt to clear out. Who are you teaching to be who are you coaching? Yet I knew what to do. I was doing it. So for me, the idea of imposter syndrome took on a really first-hand experience. I don't know if you've had it, but it was even more of a reinforcement that what I was thinking about myself, what I was saying in my head, could not be the driving force to the success of my business. I still have a formula that can help women transform their financial lives, regardless of what tweet is going on in my head. So we need to take ourselves out of the equation and create an actual strategy that will create profits in your business, not tied to your self-worth. So your pricing strategy should be about creating a product that sells. And to give yourself the opportunities to create profit. Now, profit and sales are not the same thing. Selling is fantastic, but if you have nothing left from that sale, after you've taken care of the needs of your business, we have not created profit. And let me just say to you, profit is not what you pay yourself. Profit is what you have after you've paid yourself. It took me a while to figure that out too. Especially, you're just running a little business, you're just here, you're like, I don't have any overhead, no problem. I don't care if you're paying yourself $100. Put it as a line item in your spreadsheet or QuickBooks, whatever it is that you're using. Profit comes after you have taken care of the expenses of your business, and that includes paying yourself. I know there are times we're running very lean businesses and you may not be able to pay yourself what you need or what you want or what have you. There are many times when, a lot of our expenses a lot of our personal expenses might be filtering through the business. I know we're not telling Mr. Trudeau everything is all right. But I get that, but put the line item there. Get used to paying yourself from your business and declaring an income. That's a whole other thing, but let's create some profit. It's a science, and I'm going to share it with you, the formula I think that works. How are you going to create that profitable pricing strategy? Number one, you need to understand the market you're in. And no coach is going to do that for you. If a coach is doing it for you, that coach is creating dependability. That coach is, no, the coach is forcing you to always look to them. I want you to do the research to understand your market. What market are you in? Maybe you can put it in the chat. What sectors are we operating in your business? I know for some of you, but maybe not for all of you. So I've got someone in education. That's great, Tiz. I see education. I know there are others. What sectors are you all operating in? Decor, very nice. Christmas trees and decor, very nice. Ashley is a storyteller. We need to talk, Ashley. Even more reason for me to make the check. Bookkeeping, marketing. Oh, not just jewelry, but jewelry, baby. Yes. We've got social media marketing, online marketing, bookkeeping, and construction. You might need to help my husband. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. Retail, that's right. Tea leaves, Karu, very nice. Virtual assistant. Okay, self-care, so that's menopause. Oh yeah, I totally get that. And Jewelry, Muriel, I'm thinking that's jewelry, those Celtic knot pieces. Who is going to know your market better than you? You are operating in that market. As a coach, I work with so many people from different spheres, and I do business coaching as well as when it comes to the money side of things specifically. If I, as a coach, had to understand the markets that all of my clients work in, I would not be able to do my work. But you, on the other hand, you can deep dive into the market that you're operating, understanding trends, understanding price ranges, and it is a range, understanding what is happening in those spaces, what some challenges are, what's pushing back at your market. Understanding that is your first step, your market. The next thing you need to understand is your client. What does that beautiful human need? Understanding your client. What are they willing to pay for that unique result you deliver? So you're going to be looking at, the pricing of some of your competitors. If you want to compete, go for it. I don't compete on price. We'll talk. Again, that's a whole other conversation. What are they willing to pay? And you're going to start plotting that into the formula when you're considering your pricing and your profit. The next thing you're going to want to consider is the placement. Where do you and your business want to sit in that space? Do you want to be a steady Eddie? I'm going in there. I'm not trying to be too high or too low. I'm just kind of, middle of the road. Or do you want to be a disruptor in that space? Do you want to be the one to say, well, I'm doing this, but I'm doing it this way, and this is what it's causing, and it's so phenomenal, you have to be part of it? Are you going to place your business as a disruptor? Is it going to be a loss leader? Are you going to be the one at the bottom price point and you're going to push out so much volume because everyone's going to come and get what you're selling at that price? And that's fine. But you kind of need to determine that. No one can determine that for you. Where do you want that service to sit when compared to its peers? And the last element that I would share in putting together your pricing strategy is, do you believe it? Do you believe it? Can you actually say your price to a prospect with the right face? And I didn't, when I was putting this together, I put with a straight face, but actually it's not always a straight face. Depending on what you're selling, you might need to say it with a smile. Depending on what you're saying, you might need to say it with all seriousness based on what you're delivering. So can you say your price with the right face? How you communicate your price is going to be half the battle, inspiring confidence in the person that you are looking to serve, that you believe that your service is worth the price that you just quoted. I remember it wasn't that long ago. So from year to year, I revisit my pricing. And last year, I attained a new credential. So my pricing went up. Okay. So I have the market to back that price adjustment. I've got, the learning and the experience. I've been coaching since 2015 now. I remember when I started, my programs were like $100 for the whole program. Oh, it hurts my heart. Just hurts my heart. But I was just getting started. I had no previous experience. But in 2015, I was getting my foot in the door. This is 2025, right? And I've coached hundreds of women and influenced thousands of lives. So I cannot still be at 2015 pricing, but hear this. I was talking to a former client last year and, going through my pricing and sharing all of that. And guess what she said to me? That's after I had increased my pricing. She said she doesn't think it's high enough. I'm like, boom. That's my research right there. Read poll of one person, my pricing needs to go higher, 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 higher. I didn't do it. I didn't increase my price because I'm not yet at the belief stage. Because I had already increased it to what I felt was good and sustainable and real and realistic to me. I understand the market, I understand the client was willing to pay more. I understand how I want to be placed. But just because of that belief portion, I haven't yet, just saying, I haven't yet made the next increase because I need to be able to communicate that value intrinsically before I can communicate it out to a prospect. And I think that that's where we need to sit. I sometimes say to my daughters, sometimes they get asked to do things they don't want to do, and we work our way through all the reasons why and what have you, and they're still hesitating. And I say, just tell them your mom said no. Listen, if you are at the point where you're still not yet able to share that pricing, then tell yourself, well, the market said so. Or tell yourself the client said so. Tell yourself that the placement said so. You can still find ways to communicate your price point effectively as you're working on bolstering that belief system. So, because one person said increase my pricing, I'm not going to increase it. But I believe affirmation will come because more people, the market now will start informing that. And it's the same thing for you. When was the last time you spoke to a former client? Not someone that you're looking to actively contract with, someone that knows your work, appreciates your work, and actually talk to them and asked, listen, I'm looking to do something different with the business. I'd love your feedback. When was the last time you made that inquiry? That's research. And it's a warm interaction because that person already knows and loves you and your work. So why aren't we asking? Well, that again is another seminar, webinar, a whole other challenge, right, Cheyenne? But I think that that's the formula. I do believe that if we can understand our market, we can understand our client, and we can understand where we want to sit, understand that placement, and we can internally believe in the value of our work, you have the formula for a winning, profitable business strategy. Don't make it complicated, ladies. I went to an all-girls school and I'm like, all right, I always called them ladies. We were teenagers. I used to be a prefect. Okay, so it was a convent school. My principal was a nun. It's okay. Kind of probably explains a lot about me. But I always refer to them as ladies because it sets the expectation. It sets you up for something phenomenal and beautiful, and I know what to expect. What are you setting yourself up for? How are you looking at yourself? And Sister Claire, my high school principal, she always said, your biggest rival is yourself. Your biggest rival is yourself. You're thinking of your profit strategy, you're thinking of your pricing strategy. You only need to do better than the last best. You don't have to compete. You don't have to try to go from $10,000 this month to $1 million next month. We just need to do better. And when we can do that, when we can apply the formulaic strategies to the black and white, we free ourselves up to give energy to us becoming that full color self-identity and self-worth. If we can just separate, then you will find that pricing has nothing to do with how much you charge. Pricing has everything to do with the value you can deliver. Profit does not require that you have a premium high ticket item. It just requires that you make more, you bring in more revenue than you spend. So maybe your product is $50. You create a strategy that pushes enough volume out within an efficient and cohesive system that you can rinse and repeat and you chug that out. You just chug it out. And that's it, right? There's all of the big box companies, like some of the brands that I talked about earlier at the top of our session. They're putting millions of dollars into marketing and getting their messaging of self-worth to the consumer. You now need to get formulated just like they did in your small scale, small business so that you can run a profitable business. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to say, if you have questions, pop it in the chat. But just remember this: extract the concept of self identity from your business operations. Put the line in the sand. You are worthy of a life well lived. A successful and a profitable business is only one small part of that. Your life well lived is all of you. So let's not get it twisted. Like the people say, don't get it twisted. You are not your business, but your business can serve you. And that's the approach I'd love for you to take with considering your pricing, reframing how you approach success in your business, and creating a life that's actually really delicious and beautiful and just so sumptuous that you want to wake up and experience it every day, every single day. I wanted to throw in there, Cheyenne, that if any of you are doing your money with a partner at all, just in time for Valentine's Day, I do have a free webinar that's up. It's called Let's Talk Money, Honey. I know, I'm just full of it. Let's talk money, honey. I'm really loving the energy around people who are making lives together, actually talking about money. And just the same way that we're having this conversation about the success of your business, you and your partner, if you're partnered in life, you need to be talking about money. I should do one for the kids too, because I think I definitely want to talk money, talk about parents and children or guardians and children talking about money. But definitely take a look at that. I'm going to put the link here in the chat. I'd love to answer your questions, anybody. In the meantime, this webinar is completely free. You can take a look. I always love feedback. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, there. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I could go on, as you can tell, but I think I'm done. Any questions that you would love for me to address and answer? I know that a lot of times when I present, I have to be kind of high level because I'm talking to such a diverse group. Um, it's hard to articulate specifics for everybody, or unique for everyone's unique challenges. But definitely, if you have a question, I can answer it here. If you're not comfortable asking it here, I do offer a free consult, discovery, coaching call. I'm happy to do it. No ifs, no questions asked, no strings attached. But if you would like to access that, you are welcome to do so as well. So let's see. Yes, monthly money meeting. Let's talk about money, honey. I know. I should have copyrighted that. Let's talk money, honey. Let's see. I think today's podcast actually shares how to have money conversations when your partner's disconnected. I know I have that in there. I think that's what came out today. But yes, just stay close to my website because not, Carol, you're one of the lucky ones, let me tell you. A lot of spouses are on totally different pages when it comes to money. But there, I'm looking at the chat to see if there are questions. I don't see them.
Adriana, I think Erin asked a question if you scroll up a little bit.
Let's see, automotive repair market. Well, I recently heard that a lot of the luxury electric vehicles are just messing up. They are a problem. Erin, what kind of vehicles do you service? Is it gas? Is it EV? All of the above or neither? Let's
We
see.
don't do any EV.
Okay,
We
so just
specialize in
regular.
European, and we're in Prince Edward County.
Okay, there you go. Okay. So what is the struggle with that market? What are you seeing? What's your challenge?
The moment we're seeing people preparing for whatever's coming next, so people are being particularly conservative, is going to become a place where it's more economical to service your vehicle than to
Buy a
buy
new
a
one.
new one. However, the market here is very, very slow. And so we did try to apply marketing strategies to this, and it didn't have a positive effect on our business overall. It was a great program, and I think in a different, we just didn't come at it from the right angle, or it didn't have the effect that we were expecting, which means that there were extra factors in the market. Like Cheyenne and I have talked about this so much. It could have been that it prevented a bunch of things from happening that we just can't, there's no way to know, right? You need a really long trajectory to figure out how did that work. So I'm going to apply all the strategies I learned from Miss Cheyenne and keep applying them to our business because it's a long runway that we need, right? So I'm super grateful to have a ton of resources available to use, but I'm wondering about this industry in particular because we can't put that piece down. You can't just be like, oh, well, then that doesn't work. That's not what's true. It's
Right.
true that there's multiple factors happening at the same time. So how else do we affect all these other market factors? I want to
Yeah.
up our marketing and figure out how to do that well. But I could use some insight.
Well, I don't know your market inside out. What's coming to mind for me is offering some alternative complementary services. So my hair, I'll just throw that in there. My hair is locked. I've got it's not dreadlocks. They're branded as sister locks. And my loctician has been, I've had this in like 16 years. My loctician has been trying to encourage me to do it myself because she can teach me how to do it myself. I don't want to do it myself. So I'll go to her. However, she has made that offer to other people so they can learn how to do it themselves, and others have bitten. You see, for me, I don't want my hands in my hair. And for you, some of your customers don't want to be grease monkeys. However, there may be a market where someone can say, I could take care of some of this myself. I wish I knew how. So maybe instead of doing one to one, so mechanic to one car or one customer, perhaps you can offer a service where you do a quick teaching class, tips or how to take care of your vehicle yourself, um, and share that. You can package that. That would be a one to many type scenario that may get people in the door. Another offer could be a kind of like a subscription program. So they pay monthly a specific amount and you have a certain deck of services that you offer. What you're looking at here, every market is dealing with. So what you're going to need to do is innovate and understand what your client wants. Your client wants a well-maintained vehicle. So you're going to want to give that to them. And your client is definitely looking for a service that they can save with. So that's something you may want to look at as well. So just some thoughts, looking at the market, understanding it, and seeing how you can place yourself in it. So there's that. Let's see. Jackie says, you talked about belief being a key marker in pricing. Do you have some examples of ways to build that belief? Yes, I love it. Okay, so one of the things I say to my clients is borrow until you can embody. So you can borrow other people's belief in you until you can embody that for yourself. Now, this is not fake it till you make it. That's not what that is. But do you know that girlfriend that always tells you you look so good? And you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, eh. That girlfriend is seeing something that you cannot yet. She won't lie to you. If she is your friend, hopefully she's not lying to you because then we'd have a thing of the emperor's clothes. But if your trusted girlfriend can say to you, you look hot, girl, you're smashing it. But you look in the mirror and you see something else, your friend is not lying. Borrow her belief, borrow her eyes, borrow her perspective, and walk like she is looking at you. you're going to borrow it until you can embody it. So as you borrow it, you're going to find that your persona changes. So in business, you're going to borrow the feedback from your clients. You're going to immerse yourself in those 5-star reviews on Google Marketplace. You're going to start sharing it out loud and saying it out loud to yourself. You're going to be looking for ways that you look at your competitors' post and you're like, but I can deliver that in my sleep. So you're going to look at all the indicators that say you are awesome. And even if you don't believe it, you're going to trust it and you're going to latch on to it, and you're going to walk in that. That's a great way to do your to really reinforce that belief. So I say borrow until you embody. So that's that. Rebecca, I see you. I think I have some more. Let me see if there's anything else. How long have I been in business for myself? How long did it take you to understand separating my girl? I'm still messed up. I I think one of the things I had to let go of was the idea that you fix it once and it goes away. Don't forget about it. I have a chapter in my book. It's actually called The Illusion of the Finish Line. Just forget about it. We are going to revisit these challenges constantly as we grow our businesses, as we experience life, as our times of life change. Listen, I have a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old. She's 17 next month. I see my empty nest coming and I'm freaking out. I go from freaking out to celebrating and having carnivals. So, yeah, I actively work on reinforcing the separation, but I have days when I just curl up in a ball on a couch. They are a lot fewer than they were before. But I think for me, maybe it's different for you. You really need to learn who you are through this experience. And entrepreneurship is a great teacher at that, by the way. I think for me, when I'm feeling that way, I have to let myself feel and not try to squash it. I feel I need to process that. I need to actually have the experience flow through that and then come out on the other side. So I don't stay in it, but I don't run away from it either. So I have to not get lost in it, but I need to acknowledge it. So yeah, that's kind of how I did that. How you first approached paying myself in the early years of my business? I did not pay myself in the early years of my business. A lot of my business survived today because my husband was working. I'm just going to be honest. My business didn't have a profit margin to speak of. And I believed in the worth of what I was doing, that I was willing to, go through those lean years and come out on the other side. I actually sometimes say to people, you might need to get that job. You might need to get that part-time gig. You might need to get that other thing that is already proven and is paying while you develop, test out, and create a viable, wonderful product. I want to do this with grace. I think not all of us have not all of us have the gift of building our businesses, slow and steady and, doing all of that. If it means you need to get another job to pay the bills so you can build the business well, then do that. Again, not defining who you are. It's you creating a business that can do what you need. So take the pressure off, ease up a little bit. I mean, there's enough serious stuff. I mean, there's doo-doo flying left, right, and center all around us right now. So we need to give ourselves a little bit of grace. Cut yourself some slack. Taking a contract to do something different. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Or maybe you just need to step away from it for a break. Go breathe and refresh yourself. I think, yeah, just do what you need to do so that you can live a life well lived. And that's it. Do not give up on your business idea. I'd never recommend that. but I definitely say there are ways to do it, to come at it, that may not be 100% all in all the time right away. But when the time is right, you definitely go all in and you celebrate the joys and successes of your business. There ain't no shame in that, right? So that's it. Let's see. Are we good? Are we good? Did I cover everything? I did have someone's hand up, Rebecca. I didn't forget you. Middle-aged orphan available for adoption. Loving it. Nope, I've got the dog. I told her I've been deathly afraid of dogs from the time I was a child. But my younger one is such a nurturer. She has such a heart for animals. She's the one wanting the horses, the gerbils, the everything. So we finally got a dog. And I said to her, on the one condition, when you go to university, you're taking the dog. But because my office is in my home, the dog is almost always here right next to me. The dog thinks it's my animal. I'm like, no, it's not. But yeah, we do that. We do what we have to do. I think that's it for me, Cheyenne. I am so thrilled. You ladies were so engaged. I hope that you have received some value. What I'd like to do before we wrap up is if you can put one thing that you're going to be working on in the chat. I always like to arm you for action. It's always great to hear things and take them in, but I would like the book. Let's see. I would like you to put in the chat, and Cheyenne, stay on top of them for that. I'd love for you to put in the chat what you'll be working on so that we can hold you accountable in our little spaces and places. Yeah.
Rebecca, did you want to ask your question? I know you had your hand up.
Yeah, she did have her hand up at one point.
No? Okay, you're good. I just want to make sure. Hey, Johanna, you're always amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I love, and you know how aligned you and I are with the focus on profitability and positioning yourself and your pricing. Exactly everything you said. Like anyone who's been in my programs, they know I have the same stance. It's not personal, it's business. And the personal part is building your business in a way that is going to work for you, but it's not about the pricing. The pricing needs to be divorced 100%. I'm so grateful that you had that whole focus. It's brilliant. Anybody who wants to connect with Hadriana, please do so. She's an incredible woman. I'm deeply grateful to have her in part of my circle. She's got a really cool podcast she's just started up. I have been fangirling over it for quite some time now. She's a beautiful presenter, as you've all seen. She offers coaching if anyone's looking for more in-depth support, developing their money relationship and their wealth habits. Definitely go forward with that. I'll include the link to her website on the page and in the emails if anybody wants any more information. Connect with me. She's got a book. She's got all kinds of stuff. She's amazing. Thank you, Hadriana. I can see from all the comments flooding in how much of an impact you've had today. This was brilliant, ladies. Okay, I'm just going to quickly pop up my slides for tomorrow if I can find them. There's my apps. Okay, tomorrow we are going to have Carrie is going to be here. So Carrie's going to be talking to us about connecting. Hadriana and I both know Carrie well. I am so deeply privileged to have these women and to be able to share them with you. Like, I can't tell you how much this is filling my bucket. So tomorrow is going to be about networking and connecting in a really authentic way. So Hadriana has kicked us into making our money in a way that works for us, in a way that's very logical, which I love, and tapped into building the life we want. Carrie's going to help us look into how we network and build connections in a way that's very authentic and works in the way that we want. So I'll see you ladies, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. If you can't make it, the replays will be up, and just watch them. As you can tell, they're incredible sessions, and there's so much value in this for us. Thank you so much for being engaged and for showing up and giving the energy back to Hadriana. She definitely deserves it. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.